My name is Fathia Absie. Yeah? I am Somali American. Um, I've lived in the United States since I was 15 years old. So they say home is where the heart is, and my heart is in the U.S. I feel like an American. I am an American. I call myself and consider myself an American, but most of all, I consider myself a citizen of the world. You know, everyone thinks I'm from everywhere else. I was told I look like South American, and people talk to me in Spanish all the time. Middle Easterns think I'm from the Middle East. Americans think I am American, African American. Um, I, um, I pretty much fit in everywhere. I just came out of a workshop about multiculturalism, and it's funny, even the Swedes said, few of the Swedes said, we don't feel like we fit in anywhere. Some Americans were there and they said, I don't feel like I belong anywhere. And I'm like, I belong everywhere. It's all about how you feel, I think, and how you carry yourself. And if you're interested in learning from other people and other cultures, and because in very early in my life, I realized that, like Dr. Maya Angelou said, we're more alike than we are unlike. And I figure since, you know, um, it's obvious not to know one another is not to trust one another. And so um, the minute you start to talk to people and hear their story and you share yours, you become, everything else just go away, and you realize you have more in common with one another than what really divides you. So I am very proud of calling myself American. Um, I know it's far from perfect, but I consider it to be, uh, probably the greatest nation on earth. I love, I'm in Sweden now, Sigtuna. The first time I have been part of this Tällberg forum, and it's an experience unlike any other I have ever seen or heard. I mean, it's first of all, it's beautiful here, and I feel like I am part of a friendly UN meeting. People from 60 different countries, and they're quite possibly some of the greatest minds in the world. And I've learned so much in a very short period of time, 4 days. And there's this one young woman, the first day, the opening day, she's originally, heritage-wise, from Ghana. Her grandfather was a refugee, and she was born here in Sweden. But she called herself at the beginning. She said, I am a uh, uh, um, second generation refugee. And I was thinking she was born in a refugee camp because, some of my siblings were born in a refugee camp, and I know a lot of people that were born in a refugee camp. And but then she said, my grandfather came to Sweden, and then he sponsored my parents, and I was born here in Sweden. And I said, oh my God, why didn't she call herself first generation Swedish? And so that's why I am keep repeating, I am proud to say I'm American. We have our issues in America, but because it's the land of immigrants, it's easier to just say, I am an American, and who's going to argue with that? I am a social worker background. I've worked as a social worker for about 12 years. Um, I But I've always been a storyteller in my heart. I wanted to tell stories that inspired and bring about change. I find myself in a very early age back home when I was growing up, that in Somalia, that I had a thing for social justice and equality, and um, sort of, you know, um, love for humanity, and so doing social work was wonderful, but I just wanted to leave a legacy uh, uh, that sort of contributes to bringing forward stories that matter and hopefully will inspire and make some changes in my part of the world. I mean, where I'm from originally, Somalia, East Africa, and Africa in general. And so I now have my first feature film, which is called Broken Dreams. It's a documentary about the young Somali men that left from different parts of the West, Canada, the U.S., and Europe. But the film focuses on the boys that left in the USA and the impact that that entire story had uh, in the Somali community in the U.S. And I'm touring now to show and screen that film in the U.S., Canada, and soon coming to uh, uh, Europe. So that's my story.